see to bet.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio. This is Fan Run Radio.
And here we go, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's overtime, presented by VIP Play with William Pattison, Jeremy Inslee, and Tyler Barbaras. We appreciate you listening along with us on this William Wednesday from Knoxville, Tennessee. Plenty to cover over the next hour, including bad timing for Shedeur Sanders, an injury to the Browns quarterback ahead of the preseason matchup on Friday. Is it now going to be a more difficult process for him to become at least a little bit higher on the depth chart? Before that, we'll talk about hot seat coaches in college football. Plenty of them across all the conferences. We'll tell you those coaches that might have a little bit more to earn this upcoming year. We'll also have our best bets presented by VIP Play and the MLB. And then this whole hour is going to be dedicated to Tennessee football, a big day of news. Tennessee officially goes to Adidas. And today, Pete Nakos confirmed my previous report on Monday. Both John Reed of Talk Sports and I on Overtime on Monday talked about Joey Aguilar becoming the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Vols. Pete Nakos kind of confirmed that once again today. We went public with it. We'll talk about Joey Aguilar being the starter for Tennessee in the 2025 season and what that means for the Volunteers. So plenty to cover on a Wednesday edition of OT. So happy you're here. Let's dive right into the action with our first things first topic, and that is Tennessee is headed back to Adidas. Adidas and the University of Tennessee have announced a one-of-a-kind partnership inspired by a mutual ambition to usher in a new era of Tennessee athletics. Effective July 1st, 2026, Adidas will be the official footwear, uniform, apparel, and sideline partner of UT Athletics. And we'll begin today with, are you a fan of the Adidas partnering? There's two different sides of this for me. As a younger person, 22, Nike has always been my preferred brand in sportswear. Checks over stripes is kind of the moniker for that. And I just think Tennessee has, benefited from having really cool swag and apparel for over the last couple of years from Nike. It's something that I wear a lot. And if you watch here, watch me on in camera here, you notice I have a lot of Tennessee Nike gear. I just think it's a little bit of the upper echelon of sportswear. And I think that partnering with Nike is a really, really cool opportunity for Tennessee. I think the jerseys look pretty good. I'm a big fan of the lettering. I'm a big fan of the modernized look that Tennessee has had over the last couple of years. Now, older fans might not agree with that. There's been a lot of discourse today. Thank gosh, Tennessee's going to go back to the old lettering and the old branding and stuff like that. I'm fine with how Tennessee has rolled over the last couple of years. But again, I'm a younger person. That's kind of more my ideology. That's kind of where more I align. So I understand the people that are happy to go back to Adidas. Some of the older fans, look back at Tennessee and say, well, Tennessee had a lot of success during that time. I mean, even today on our socials, we put out a video of T. Martin firing to Peerless Price with John Ward on the call in the 1998 championship game. Those were Tennessee uniforms and Adidas. So I get some of the glory days come from Adidas, and, a lot of people still hold that deep in their heart. But for me, I've always been a Nike guy. So on that side of it, I wish Tennessee stayed with Nike. On the other side of it, I recognize that Danny White is a trailblazer. He's always been one to make some big-time moves, from partnering with Pilot and Neyland Stadium, making Neyland Stadium preserved by Pilot, the Neyland Entertainment District that's soon to come, the improvements and upgrades to not only Neyland Stadium, but as well as Thompson Bowling Arena, renaming that to Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. He's always tried to find a way to kind of take a little bit of a level up of what was already there. And Tennessee is one of the best athletic programs in the country. And when you have that type of nameplate, you have the opportunity to do a lot of different things. And Danny White has done that. And with this deal with Adidas, you're getting almost triple the amount of money you were going to get with Nike. And that is an opportunity for Tennessee to become the premier program for Adidas sports. And that's a big opportunity. NIL is there as well. And we'll talk more about that later. But from the business side of this, from Danny White always being a trailblazer, it makes sense. So I'm okay with it on that perspective. Because as a Tennessee fan and someone that, covers Tennessee athletics, wants them to do well, it's a lot more fun when Tennessee's competitive in a good football team or competitive in a good basketball team or whatever sport it may be. It helps us out because there's more intrigue. And by partnering with Adidas, Tennessee's going to have a lot of opportunities to continue to bolster these rosters, to continue to have unique NIL opportunities for players coming in. From a business side, it does make sense. From a William Patterson's personal perspective, I'm a Nike guy, but I understand the decision here, and I'm a fan with signing with Adidas if it means that Tennessee athletics will be better in the future. We'll bring Tyler in now. Tyler, what do you make of the partnership? And keep in mind, this was first reported by Fox Sports Knoxville about 3 months ago. May 14th was when we originally put out that Tennessee was mulling a decision. And this has been something we've been closely following over the last 3 months. Got a text earlier this morning. Today's going to be the day. And I was like, it's about damn time because we've been waiting on this thing for a while. And an incredible job from everyone here covering this story, keeping up with it, making sure we were accurate in our reporting. Always important to do that and journalistic integrity. And I think we have done that very well. So round of applause to the guys here at Fox Sports for doing that. We'll send it back over to Tyler. However, are you a fan of the Adidas signing?
Yeah, big time. I mean, when you look at the other colleges that are sponsored by Adidas, Arizona State, Indiana, Kansas, Louisville, Miami, Nebraska, NC State. I mean, Tennessee, out of these schools that I listed, and there are still a couple more, but Tennessee has the best athletic program by far out of all these schools that I listed. Tennessee's athletics, they have a further and larger audience and reach than these other schools. It's a great opportunity financially for this university to start propelling and taking off. And they've already took off in, the 2020s. This is a school that is rapidly growing. It's harder to get into now. More people want to come here. And now the fact that you're making triple the amount of money with Adidas that you were previously making with Nike, that's only going to make things better in the long term and in the short term for this university, both their athletic programs and outside of athletics. So I think this is a fantastic move to make. However, I'm on your side, William, where I'm more of a Nike over Adidas type guy. I like the Nike shoes better. It's kind of funny because I got some Adidas shoes on right now, but
good timing there.
Yeah, good timing. I guess I knew something was going to happen today, so throw on the Adidas gray Nike or Adidas trainers. I was going to say Nike trainers, but yeah, I'm definitely more of a Nike over Adidas guy. But regardless, I'm going to wear the new Adidas merch. And the one thing that will seem a little bit weird to me is, all of the students and the fans of the university, like they're all still going to rep their Nike Tennessee Vol apparel. But I'm curious to see how quickly Adidas kind of takes over, and you'll start to see, 10% of fans in Neyland Stadium this year wear Adidas. And then the following year, it's probably going to be 30 and then 50. So I'm curious to see how the transformation over the next couple of years is going to take place with the apparel. But overall, this is a great move. Danny White just continues to think bigger picture rather than right now, which I think is kind of what you have to do when you're in the SEC. You had a pretty up and down 2010s. 2020 and thereon is, the decade for the Vols and their resurgence. And it's a great time to be a Tennessee Vol. I mean, people say it, and it really does seem like it's coming to fruition here. So hopefully this all, works itself out, and there are no regrets in a couple years. But financially, Danny White locked this down. The university locked this down. It was kind of cool, too, how, there were rumors about it and tremblings about it. But they kind of kept it under closed doors. And then it came out today that, this was a very, very, very expensive deal, and it's going to pay off. So very happy. And I think this is a great opportunity for Tennessee athletics and for the players as well, which we're going to get into later. But I think it's a great opportunity to establish yourself as the Adidas university. You have the Nikes, you have the Under Armours, but Adidas is like an elite brand, and Tennessee has a chance to really, really staple themselves here as the best Adidas collegiate school athletic program in the country. And I think it's a great opportunity, and it's looking like the boys are going to capitalize on it. So nothing but positive outlooks for me.
In the announcement, Tennessee said the deal with Adidas includes unprecedented NIL opportunities for athletes and the school. Yahoo Sports' Ross Dellinger reported players will get a slice of the pie, and Adidas is even working quickly to secure deals with Vols athletes this school year. The new contract doesn't officially start until next year, but obviously the guys have already started getting going on this new partnership. Outside of how you may feel about Adidas, the brand, the sportswear, the merch, it is a very smart move for Tennessee financially, because it's going to open a lot of different doors in this era now of college sports where revenue sharing is going to be involved. NIL is always going to be very competitive and trying to get these players to come in. And one thing Adidas has done a really good job with, and we'll mention this here in a second as well, is acquiring high school level talent before they're getting to the college level, and also tagging some of the great college players we currently have in the game. We'll tell you that list here in a minute. But again, going back to the financials of this, Tennessee and Nike had this deal for a while. The contract is up on June 31st, 2025 or 2026. And when Tennessee was having these conversations with Nike, keep in mind Nike just gave Ohio State a $16.7 million deal per year. Tennessee was, trying to get somewhere around that number, because Tennessee believes that this is a program that is right up there with Ohio State in terms of athletics. And honestly, on a more broad scale, Tennessee's probably better overall right now than Ohio State is. Ohio State obviously is coming off of a college football playoff victory, but Tennessee's better in basketball right now. Tennessee's a better softball team. Tennessee has a better baseball team. There are a lot of other things that Tennessee is much stronger in just outside of football. And you know how many fans are going to come into Neyland Stadium every weekend, regardless of Tennessee being undefeated or a 4-loss team. There's always going to be passion around this fan base. So when Nike could not get to that number, could not come to an agreement of what Tennessee was asking, Adidas knocks on the door. Tennessee gives the deal. This is what we're looking for. Adidas is willing to put that offer out there. Nike has the opportunity to counter. They don't, and boom, the deal is done. And this process is it's taken a little bit longer than just as simply as I just put it. But financially, it makes a lot of sense, because now you have so much flexibility in a continually evolving college football landscape. And it's a good deal for Danny White and company. Continues to be a trailblazer, continues to do the things that not all these other schools across the country are doing. Or if they are, it's because they're following the footsteps of the type of foundation that Danny White is laying. So a big-time deal for Tennessee, and it far exceeds anything financially that Nike was willing to offer. So in that sense, it was a very smart financial decision. Tennessee left Adidas in 2014 to sign with Nike, and the amended deal runs through 2026, as I mentioned. Through the partnership, the university is due to receive $1.2 million in base compensation. So that's pretty much cash. We're giving you this to represent our brand every year, and around $4.5 a year in product allotment. So that's shoulder pads, jerseys, equipment, all of that across all the sports. So as a part of the deal, Nike could match anything of that offer. They did not choose to do that. They decided to let it go, and that's where we are now. But the thing I wanted to bring up is I hold a lot of value in Adidas pinpointing Tennessee as a program that they want to identify with, that they want to choose. Adidas chose Tennessee. Like, in the dating world, right? You want someone to choose you, not just, kind of just be thrown together, right? Adidas said, man, I like Tennessee. Adidas walked into the bar and saw Tennessee kind of sitting over there in that corner and said, I like Tennessee. I want to go talk to Tennessee. Adidas chose to make this move, which I think speaks volumes to the type of program that Danny White has built and also the type of opportunities that Adidas sees with this partnership, where Tennessee is now going to be the pinnacle of college football, or really not even college football, college athletics sportswear deals. So the fact that Adidas chose Tennessee, I think, is really big because it shows where Tennessee is right now. And when you look across all the sports, not just football, not just basketball, softball, baseball, all of them, Tennessee has made a ton of progress and has become one of the great college athletic schools in the United States. Brands want to be with that. Brands want to identify with that. And they're willing to put up the type of money they're putting up right now, upwards of $20 million. Not exactly at that number, more around the 17, 18 range. But still, that's exceeding Ohio State that just won the college football playoff. So don't tell me football is the only thing that matters. Tennessee does a lot of other things really, really good. And that's why they're the one chosen by Adidas. Tyler, what do you make of Adidas choosing Tennessee and Tennessee not having to kind of go for a, settle for a 5 at the bar like Nike? They were able to take home the 10 with Adidas because they were willing to be chosen.
Yeah, it seems like Tennessee, they wanted a dime, not a nickel, and they got their dime. I mean, Tennessee, the university, the athletic program, they know their value. This is a university that over the past 2-3 years has been thought of as the best athletic program in college athletics. I mean, some people say it's not us, but a lot of people can get behind the reasoning to put Tennessee number 1, if not top 3. And I think it was the right move. Tennessee obviously waited it out. They played their cards right. That's what you have to do in a situation like this because, it's hard to become the top dog when you're consistently competing against Ohio State, against Alabama, just against a lot tougher programs. But Tennessee, and a lot of people understand that Tennessee isn't now, a bottom feeder, a middle of the pack athletic program. Like, this is a top athletic program in the country. They understood their value, and Adidas saw that as well. And I honestly think that's a reason as to why you saw Tennessee 2 months ago kind of mulling over a decision to side with Adidas because, when I was single, when I was at a bar, like, didn't want to go approach a girl if she didn't want me. If we were playing eye tag, then I'd approach her. But if she looked at me, then looked away and gave me a stink face, I'm like, hell no. I'm good with that. But I'll approach the very, very nice 7 out of 10 who was, looking at me and whispering to her friends about me. It's kind of like what Tennessee and Adidas have. They have a mutual understanding that Tennessee didn't have with Nike. Nike was the girl that, looked and talked smack about you to her friends. Tennessee didn't want any of that. They want to be the cream of the crop. They want to be the top dog, and the best opportunity to do so was with Adidas. And on top of that, I think it's a great opportunity as well for all of the athletes at this university to, there are some players on the football team that don't have any chance of getting drafted. There are guys on the basketball team who are, 11th man off the bench who only play when we're up by 20. And those guys will have an opportunity now to provide for their family and for their friends and have a future outside of what they do here. And Adidas prioritized that. And Tennessee also made that a priority. I'm sure they said, hey, yeah, we want all of our athletes to benefit from this, not just the big ones, not just the Nate Amends and the Joey Aguilars of the world. We want everyone, the people on the golf team, on the rowing team, on the swimming team, to benefit from this agreement, from this partnership. And Adidas valued that. But Adidas also understands, too, from a business standpoint, like, all right, this is the best university that we're going to have under our belt now, so we should give them what they want. And both sides came to an agreement, and this is only going to, make this university stronger. And I think it's a great opportunity for the players, as I previously said, that won't have, a life after college athletic-wise. They'll certainly have a life after college, but not, in the pros. I think it's a great opportunity, and I'm very happy that everyone is getting compensated through this.
Adidas has been active in the NIL space, as I mentioned earlier, including signing multiple highly rated recruits as a part of the Adidas Zero class of 2025, headlined by 5-star LSU commit and top wide receiver prospect Tristan Keys. And that's a guy that has been linked to Tennessee over the last couple of months, a possible flip candidate for the Volunteers in the recruiting cycle. Number 1 ranked linebacker Tyler Atkinson is also on the board, giving Adidas 2 of the 10 highest ranked 2026 recruits on its growing athlete roster. And this is a name you'll know. Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith also became the latest active college football player to sign an NIL deal with Adidas. Though the Buckeyes are a Nike school, former Miami quarterback Cam Ward now plays for the Tennessee Titans. He also did so last year, and the company also had a big-time acquisition and the second player picked in the NFL draft, Travis Hunter, who was also a Adidas athlete, Abdul Carter as well. And both of those guys were at Nike schools last year. So just because you go to a specific school doesn't mean Adidas is shying away from you. Jeremiah Smith, one of the top players in the country, probably the best player in the country, is an Adidas athlete. So it has shown that Adidas is willing to get active in the NIL world. And if Tennessee is the flagship program for Adidas, that is telling me they're going to be willing to strike some deals with a couple of these recruits. Savion Hyder, in a couple or next week is announcing his next destination. You don't think Adidas might want to get involved in a 5-star running back? Tristan Keys currently committed to LSU. He might switch over to Tennessee because of the connection with Adidas. This could be a great tool for Tennessee athletics to get involved in. Now, football and basketball will be more of the premier, athletes to look at, as they're a little bit more easy to promote and do merchandise and stuff like that for. But if you're signed within, an Adidas school in Tennessee, you're going to have a lot more opportunities to have some flexibility and open up some really cool opportunities for a couple of these young players. So I think Adidas is going to help Tennessee out in the NIL world by signing these athletes, maybe saying, hey, a little nudge here or there. Hey, Tristan Keys, I know you're an LSU guy right now, but hey, Tennessee, they need a wide receiver. And we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, Tennessee needs some wide receivers. Tristan, you're an Adidas guy. Tennessee's going to Adidas next year. Seems like a pretty good fit. They need a wide receiver, might as well.
And they got a pretty good quarterback coming in, too, that can get you the ball.
Exactly. So the opportunities are abound in Knoxville with the addition of Adidas. It might not be the sexiest choice in terms of apparel. I'm always going to be a checks over stripes guy. But financially, it does make sense. And it is a product of Danny White, the athletic director at Tennessee, continuing to make trailblazer moves and continuing to push Tennessee into a hemisphere that they haven't been before. So for that, I think it's a good deal. And Tennessee should be in pretty good hands financially over the next couple of seasons as they are partners with Adidas. When we come back on the other side, however, we've got some more news to talk about. Now, if you joined us on Monday, you heard me say that Joey Aguilar will be the starting quarterback for Tennessee in 2025. He's going to start the opener against Syracuse on August 31st inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Today, Pete Nakos of On3, a national reporter, echoed those same things by saying that Aguilar is trending in that direction of starting. We'll break down what Joey Aguilar as a starter for Tennessee means for the Volunteers and how long will it last. We'll break it down when we return right here on Overtime, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio. Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game, Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Yo, 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 what is up with it, homies? Talk sports. That's the show you want. It's the longest running sports radio morning show in town. You want your radio shows to be fun, and that's what Talk Sports is. Fun, fun, fun. No weirdo callers. I like Tennessee. Gonna go 6-6 this year. No nerdy guests. Well, their receiver depth is a little bit thin. Just two of the most entertaining guys in town, and Bubba giving you what you need. Tune in 7 to 10 a.m. every weekday here on Fan Run Radio.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
All right, back here on Overtime, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us on this fine Wednesday from Knoxville, Tennessee. However you may be listening, free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM on the local dial or on the X/YouTube live stream. Every listener watching, we do appreciate your time. We'll switch over now to Joey Aguilar, going to be the starter for Tennessee football. On Monday, Fox Sports Knoxville first reported on air that Joey Aguilar would be named the starting quarterback for the Tennessee football team in Atlanta against the Syracuse Orange on August 31st, 2025. John Reed of Talk Sports talked about it. I talked about it on Overtime on Monday. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, welcome to the club. But today on Three's Pete Nakos also reporting, confirming that Tennessee Tennessee's Joey Aguilar is trending in the direction to start. And we talked a little bit about this on Monday, coming off the scrimmage in Neyland Stadium last Saturday, that Joey had seemed to kind of take a firm grasp of that spot. Now, he wasn't incredible on Saturday, but Jake Merklinger continues to struggle with accuracy. George McIntyre has been good for his standards as a young guy that has the frame of a pencil, but he has come along well, and that seems to be more the conversation right now, who's going to be that quarterback too, as Joey Aguilar, the more experienced guy, has kind of penciled himself in as the starter. And is this the right decision for Tennessee is how we'll begin this segment. And look, heading into this offseason, we imagined that Nico Iamaleava was going to be the starter. We were all looking forward to that possible year 2 jump from him. But obviously things took a big turn. Nico Iamaleava isn't even on this team anymore. And you bring in a guy in Joey Aguilar from UCLA, and, you know, he's your guy now. He's going to have the opportunity to start. He's going to have the opportunity to be in that competition. Now, it wasn't handed to him. It wasn't handed to anyone. It was going to be an open competition, but we're about 3 weeks through camp now, and you can kind of get a pretty firm grasp of who looks the part, who looks the more comfortable of the three, who looks like he's going to be the best option for day one. And right now that is Joey Aguilar. He's got plenty of experience, 5th year of college football. The only reason why he's playing is because of being a part of that Diego Pavia deal, where he's granted another year of eligibility. Had a very strong year as a junior for Appalachian State. Wasn't great last season in his 2nd year, but that's a totally different offensive system. Josh Heupel has a very structured offensive system. Read 1, read 2, read 3, not there, check down, not there, run. It's a lot more of a process. It's not as much backyard football like he was playing at Appalachian State. The good thing about him is that Aguilar's a guy that likes to get it down the field. You had a guy last year that was inaccurate in that. And the last time you had a guy that was really good at getting it down the field was Hendon Hooker, and you saw how that Tennessee team went. I'm not predicting that Joey Aguilar will be Hendon Hooker, folks, but I'm just saying this guy has the experience of being a gunslinger, being willing to throw it down the field. If you work on the accuracy and you work on the timing of those plays and timing of those deep shots, you vary them a little bit more, I think he could be good. I think he could be serviceable for a Tennessee defense that's going to be very strong. For a Tennessee running back room that we talked about in depth yesterday will be probably the highlight of this team, offensively at least. All is not lost if Joey Aguilar isn't, perfect, because you've got other options. You've got a defense that will hold its weight. You got a running back room that will do its job. All you need him to do is not lose you games, and that's turn the ball over. As long as Joey Aguilar does not turn the ball over, is able to hit a couple of deep shots down the field with a receiver room that's also a question mark right now, I think Tennessee will still be in the realm of a 9-3 season, which is a win coming off of a tumultuous offseason where you had a new question mark every day. Where's Nico? Is Nico coming back? Nico's going here. Nico's going there. What did Nico's camp say to there? Where's Boo Carter now? Where is Boo Carter coming back on this team? It's been a crazy offseason. At least Joey's a guy that is, kind of the adult in the room. He's mature. He knows what he's doing. You don't have to worry about all the other extracurricular stuff. And if you are on Twitter, I'd go check out a recent post from Joey Aguilar's mom talking about how she came up this past weekend to come see Joey play in the scrimmage. And she was, head over heels to be in Knoxville, Tennessee, head over heels to have Joey have the opportunity to be here. And I really like that, because that tells me this is a guy that is grateful for the opportunity to play for Tennessee. Josh Heupel talked a lot about no one is bigger than the power T a couple of months back. And I think that's very, present today, having a guy in Joey Aguilar that's happy to be here and is happy to have a healthy competition in the quarterback room. And I think he's a good option to start the season. He's experienced. He's not going to, put you in harm's way, at least early in the year. And if that's something that does pop up through SEC play, maybe you make an adjustment. But for the time being, I think Joey Aguilar is the safe bet He's the safe option, and I think Josh Heupel and the staff agree with that. Tyler, do you believe Joey Aguilar is the right option at quarterback?
Yeah, it does seem like it. The more this offseason and training camp goes on, the more signs, or the majority of the signs, have pointed to Joey Aguilar. And I'm okay with that. There was a part of me that wanted Merck to, destroy that job and just completely outwork Joey and look better just because, he was the recruit. He had expectations coming in, obviously never really got a chance to play in the regular season, but I did want to see Merck win that battle. However, with Joey, you have an experienced quarterback, an experienced play caller, a gunslinger, a guy that can do a lot for your offense. And I do like the fact that, he's 24 years old. Like, usually I wouldn't say that, but I don't mind an experienced quarterback in a year where it's kind of like a transitional period. You're trying to figure out what you have in some guys. Your best recruiting class is 2026. So 2026 is when, this program is going to go for liftoff. So I think Joey's a fine bridge quarterback. As for his play and my expectations for him, they're similar to yours, William. Connect on that deep ball once or twice a game. Don't turn the ball over. Just don't lose us games alone based off you trying to be Superman. You're not. It's the SEC. This is an Appalachian State. This is the SEC. You're going up against top 5 draft picks, top 10 draft picks, guys that would be the best player in your old conference who, are backups for Georgia on that defensive front. It's a completely different environment. So I am a little bit worried that Joey is going to, get rattled in some away games. But this is a guy that has a lot of talent. He's equipped to lead. We saw that at Appalachian State. He's a leader, and Tennessee needs that right now. They don't really have an offensive leader, and it usually is the quarterback, but you don't have a Brew McCoy anymore. That was a big vocal part in our locker room. Brew McCoy was the captain of that team. As much as people don't want to say it, he was the glue. You don't have that now. Now you have a bunch of young, unproven wideouts. You have running backs that are really, really hungry to, get playing time. I think with Joey, it's can you make the right plays in the right moments? And by that, I don't need him to conduct a 7-play, 75-yard touchdown drive on the opening drive against the Georgia. I don't expect that from him. What I expect from Joey is when Boo Carter gives you a nice 22-yard return and the ball's on your own 42-yard line, I expect you to get 20, 25 yards, get us in field goal range, and then boom, you have 3 points like that. I want him to be more of a game manager that has the talent to make plays when he has to make plays. But I think with this running back room, too, you're going to have a lot of, pressure lifted off your shoulders because of how dynamic this group is. And I talked about that on yesterday's show. I'm excited for Joey. I do think it was the right move because Merck is a guy that, maybe he's like, oh, I got something to prove. I'm going to go put on my Superman cape. And it's going to end up that Merklinger isn't the player that we needed him to be. He was going to try and be a player that he wasn't. Whereas Joey, 24 years old, veteran, he understands why he's here. He understands that he wasn't our first option coming into this season. It's just how the cards, played themselves. We thought it was going to be Nico. You thought it was going to be Nico. I thought it was going to be Nico. It's not. Ends up, coming down the Rockies, and now he's here. And he's going to have to make do with what he has. It's not an ultra-talented offense. It's not an ultra-talented defense. This is just a very solid, good team.
I'd say it's a pretty talented defense. I think it'll be top 10 in the country. I'd push back on that part.
Ultra-talented, talented.
I mean, you've got one of the best players in the country,
Sure.
Jeremiah McCoy.
No,
that's pretty ultra-talented.
All right, you have ultra-talented players. I don't think the unit as a whole is like what they were last year.
Okay.
That's my point. I think they're still going to be a very good defense, but it's not the point. He has to make he has to work with what he has. And I think if he does that, plays more of that game manager role with the ability to, connect on that 45-yard touchdown outside the numbers, this Tennessee team can be better than I expect them to. But I don't have a lot of expectations. Mine is just that he doesn't lose us games. He doesn't run us out of games. And I think he understands that. Heupel understands that, hence why Joey was listed or is trending in the direction to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah. Aguilar joined Tennessee in the spring with the expectation of competing with Jake Merklinger and George McIntyre for the starting job. Initial expectations were that Iamaleava would slide back into his starting role, but reported NIL negotiations led to a fallout between the two sides. And as a result, Iamaleava goes to the West Coast, and in comes in Joey Aguilar. And Aguilar went into the recent 2024 season with high expectations with the Mountaineers after a dominant showing the year prior. He threw for 3,003 yards on a 56% completion rate, and he tossed 23 touchdowns but turned the ball over 14 total times with those 14 interceptions in just 11 games. On the ground, he had a 207 and 2 touchdowns on 59 attempts. But in 2023, Joey Aguilar was among at least the Sun Belt's best. He was the best quarterback in the Sun Belt, among some of the stronger quarterbacks overall, just going off of numbers in the country, as he torched all the App State record books, set new program best marks for a single season in passing yards with 3,757, passing touchdowns with 33, total offense with 4,002, 200-yard passing games with 13, pass completions for 293, and pass attempts with 460. This was a guy that did it all for Appalachian State and rewrote the record books. Last year wasn't as great, but the potential is still there. It's not like, it was thunderstruck or something. He just lost all of his talent. He's still a talented player. And my expectation for Joey Aguilar is this: be a guy that is the veteran quarterback, that makes the right decisions, that makes the right plays. At Appalachian State, he had to play a little bit more hero ball than I expect him to do at Tennessee. You don't have to put it up in the air on a 3rd and 15. Take the punt. And the SEC, field position is really, really big. And the Sun Belt, it's a little bit more of a free-for-all. In SEC football, you throw a duck up on 3rd and 21, and it's intercepted, and Georgia takes 20, 30 yards down the way. That's big for field goal, a field position, I should say. So I expect him to dial down some of the Superman throws and get back to just playing in a Josh Heupel offense that's a lot more structured, a lot more read-based, a lot more out there for him. The blueprint is there. Now, we've seen differing levels of how Tennessee quarterbacks have followed those blueprints over the last couple of seasons. Hendon Hooker blew right through the blueprint and ended up being a top 5 player in college football in 2022. Joe Milton was a little bit more inside the blueprint, kind of followed it. Nico Iamaleava had the potential to go through that blueprint, but was unable to be successful down the field. So if Joey can be a 40% guy on his deep shots, hit hell, not even that. I'd say 2 out of 10.
No, I wasn't talking about Nico. You got to be a 2 out of 5 guy, and that's great.
Yeah, Nico was like 2 out of 10 last season. If
like
Joey,
2 out of 39.
If Joey is able to be a 2 out of 5 guy, a 40%, every 2 or 3 possessions, you're able to get one deep ball throw, I'm totally cool with that. That's exactly what Tennessee is looking for, because once you get one of those deep ball shots down the field for 40, 50 yards, that puts Tennessee in scoring position with how this offense is oriented. Then you can get back to your run game. You can lean on that, and then you can also play for field position in the SEC. So my expectation is that Joey is kind of the game manager that Tyler was talking about, but if he's able to hit those deep shots about a 40% rate, then I think Tennessee could be in good hands. Where all of this is derailed is turnovers. So if he cleans up his turnovers, which I expect he will, look at the Tennessee quarterback history, folks. Interceptions are not a very high variety. Even like Joe Milton, that guy didn't turn the ball over that many times interception-wise. Hendon Hooker was incredible in 2022. Look, last year at Nico, he didn't have a ton of interceptions either. So in this offense, that turnovers are not very likely, but they're very costly when they do happen. So if Joey's able to stay away from those, bring that number down back to what he did in 2023, I think we'll be just fine. And that running back room, as we talked about yesterday, is going to be strong. There are going to be guys that are competing throughout the year to be big-time playmakers. And you got 3 guys right now I'm comfortable with. And Star Thomas and Deshaun Bishop and Payne Lewis. Let's not even mention some of these freshman guys that have made an impact so far in training camp. So I expect Joey to just do the right thing, make the right plays. Don't try to do too much. Take off the Superman cape. This is a good team around you, a well-coached group. You don't have to do too much, and I don't expect Joey Aguilar to do that. I think right now it's a good decision at quarterback. If this thing plays out and there are too many turnovers, Tennessee isn't able to reach the offensive potential that they think they could grasp, then you make a move. But right now, I'm okay with Joey Aguilar being the starting quarterback. As we reported on Monday, Pete Nakos of On3 reaffirmed that today, saying that a little bit of coach speak kind of report from him, trending in the right direction. You can read between the lines and know what that means. When we come back, it's our best bets of the night presented by VIP Play. Stay right here. It's overtime on Fan Run Radio.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox, Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Hey, Knoxville. Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and at Knoxville Smiles, we make every visit a reason to smile. From routine cleanings to dazzling cosmetic treatments, our experienced team uses the latest technology to keep your teeth healthy and your smile bright. With a warm, welcoming atmosphere and personalized care, we're here to make sure you leave feeling your best. Don't wait. Your perfect smile is just a call away. Book your appointment today at 865-539-1776 or online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Hey, Pack Rat. Yeah, you. Are you moving cross country and you just don't know who to call? Call us right now. Listen, you've probably seen one of our containers in your neighborhood, but did you know that we can help you move anywhere in the United States? It's real simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a Pack Rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
Go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. When you make your first bet of $5 or more, you'll get $100 instantly in bonus bets by using the code FANRUN. That's FANRUN in all caps to claim those bonus bets, and new and more convenient deposit and withdrawal methods are coming soon. So the next VIP Play app update will continue to upgrade the betting experience on the app. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. We'll swing it over to Tyler for tonight's best bets.
Yeah, coming off a 1-0 day yesterday, had Jose Barrios under 17.5 outs recorded. it hit once again. Went back to the well there with Jose. He has not been pitching too well, so definitely something to monitor here in the month of August if Jose Barrios continues to not put together lengthy outings. Got 2 plays today here, both MLB plays. My first bet, Houston Astros money line at -155. Now, I know I usually don't take the -150 or higher plays, but this one seems really, really free to me. The Red Sox got smacked yesterday by Houston after taking the first game of the series on Monday. That was a 7-6 outing on Monday, and then yesterday. So this is the grudge match of this 3-game set. And I'm looking at the pitchers here in this matchup. Walker Buehler is on the bump today for Boston. Buehler, 7-6 on the year, 100 innings pitched. But in those 100 innings pitched, he has not looked too great. He has a 5.4 ERA and a whip above 1.5 through his 100 innings. He has more hits allowed than innings pitched, which is an indicator that, Walker Buehler has been getting slapped around a good amount this year. However, he is coming off a good outing against San Diego, where he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs. But when the Astros and the Red Sox faced each other only a week and a half ago, Buehler only recorded 13 outs, gave up 9 hits and 3 earned runs in that game. Seems like the Astros have done a good job at getting to Walker Buehler. And then opposed from Walker Buehler is Houston Astros ace Hunter Brown. Brown has been fantastic this season. He has a 2.5 ERA and 136 in the 3rd innings pitched, a whip below 1. He's 9-5 on the year. He has been remarkable recently. Now, when he faced Boston on the 1st of August, he went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. He really seems to dominate this Boston lineup. A lot of their batters for the Red Sox have struggled to consistently hit Hunter Brown. So in this game, I'm looking at the Astros, who right now are 14 games above 500. They're trying to, stay in that lead for the AL West pennant with the Mariners creeping up. They need a good start from Hunter Brown today, and they ultimately need a win. No better pitcher to back here than Hunter Brown and the Astros at home. That's my first play of the day. Astros money line at -155. Now, moving over here, this game was supposed to start at 6:35, so luckily there was a little rain delay. Not sure if this game is going to be played, though, but I'm still going to give the bet regardless. It's Baltimore Orioles +1.5. They're playing the Seattle Mariners, who are on a crazy hot streak right now. I believe they're on an 8-game winning streak. They're now tied with the Astros for that first spot in the AL West. However, the Orioles are pitching their best pitcher today, and that's Trevor Rogers. And a lot of people might not know Trevor Rogers. He was in a deal at last year's trade deadline from Miami, and he's had a career resurgence this year here for Baltimore. In 61 in the 3rd innings pitched, Rogers is 5-2 with a 1.44 ERA and a 0.83 whip. Rogers has been unbelievable. Seattle Mariners batters tend to struggle against Trevor Rogers based off previous outings when Rogers was pitching for Miami. And the Mariners, they're kind of inconsistent offensively. I really think this is a good spot here to back Trevor Rogers, to back an Orioles team that is slowly but surely getting healthier. They could really pick up a win here at home. I'm not going to go with the money line, but rather the +1.5 at -125 odds. Backing Trevor Rogers here, hoping that he can have a nice outing and the Orioles can jump on Logan Gilbert early.
All right, those are our best bets presented by VIP Play. Make sure you go claim those bonus bets by using the code FANRUN. That's FANRUN in all caps. And if you're a Tennessee fan out there, it's the only betting service in Tennessee where you can bet on every single regular season game right now on Tennessee's schedule. Code FANRUN, get $100 in bonus bets when you do it. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. When we come back on the other side, we'll talk college football on a more national landscape, as there are a lot of coaches that have a little bit of a warmer seat than others. We'll talk about those hot seat coaches across all the 4 major conferences when we return right here on Overtime, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
You're locked onto Fan Run Radio, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and online at fanrunradio.com.
Ready to launch your career? Axel Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axel proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axel, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axel Logistics is the place to start your career.
Ever been the coach who realized the team's gear just wasn't up to par? Well, if I'm being honest, that was me. Just a downright irresponsible and plain bad coach. Then SM Athletics changed the game. I want you to picture this. I walk into their store, a coach with a vision. SM Athletics didn't just see a coach. They saw a team's potential, and they delivered custom uniforms so striking. Our team's spirit soared. From cutting-edge apparel to top-notch equipment, SM Athletics transformed our presence. No more unreliable online orders or envying the other team's style. SM Athletics stands for quality, design, and on-time delivery every time. Coaches, elevate your team with SM Athletics. Call 865-966-3434 or visit smathletics.com. Get the best for your team, delivered right and on time. So, elevate your team's game by contacting SM Athletics today.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah. They specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Whether you are buying or selling a home or even looking for some land to build on and start a family, be sure to give Reed Emerson with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Heritage Group a shout. He is a longtime listener and supporter of Fan Run and has been serving the Mid-State for many years. Reed prides himself on his hassle-free and honest approach. And that's because he's not just chasing another commission. He wants what is best for his clients. Give Reed Emerson a call or text him today to get the process started. His number is 931-492-0418, or you can find him online at bhgheritagegroup.com.
The buzzer has sounded. We are headed to overtime with William Pattison on Fox Sports Knoxville. This is Fan Run Radio.
And here we go. Hour number 2 on a Wednesday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's overtime, presented by VIP Play. Great stuff in hour number 1. We'll continue it here in hour number 2. Happy to have Jeremy Inslee in the house.
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
What's up? What's up? Happy to have him for hour number 2, helping us break down some college football coaches that are on hot seats heading into the new year. Also, Shedeur Sanders back on the topic today as he's got an injury, and it's not coming at good timing. Some bad timing from the guy that dropped the song called Perfect Timing. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. But we appreciate you listening along with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM or 1340 AM, or on the X/YouTube live stream. And if you want to get involved on the action you're watching at home, type in on the YouTube live stream. We've got it popped up right here. If you have something to say, we'll give you a shout out over the broadcast. But let's get back into it, and we'll switch over to college football on a more broader scale, as last season was an uncharacteristically quiet year in the coaching carousel in college football, with only 6 head coaching changes in Power 4 conferences. Those were North Carolina, UCF, West Virginia, Purdue, Wake Forest, and Stanford. And it's easy to expect a lot more turnover this upcoming year. While not every conference has a ton of hot seats, there are still a handful in each conference worth taking a look at. And we'll begin with the one that most of our fan base knows a fair amount about, and that's the SEC. And who has the hottest seat in the SEC? I think there are a couple of good options here, so interested to see you guys' answers. But I'm going to say Brent Venables at Oklahoma. Okay. Brent Venables comes over from Clemson, where he had a ton of success as the defensive coordinator there, was a part of those national championship runs with Dabo Swinney. But since he has arrived in Norman, there hasn't been much success. They have not been able to reach the heights that they had with Lincoln Riley and Stoops, and you haven't been able to see that be replicated by a coach that I think is really good. I think Brent Venables is a really good coach, but not every coach is a good head coach. Can they get their team in position to win in the other aspects that they're not particularly strong at? Now, this year is interesting because Brent Venables is going to go back to just focusing on the defensive side of the ball. He's going to basically be the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma this year. And he's going to implement a lot of that same stuff that they did at Clemson again this year. Offensively, Ben Arbuckle comes over from Washington State, and he's going to be the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, which is exactly what he did at Wazoo. You bring in John Mateer, who's a guy that comes over from Washington State. That's a good connection. I like that. But when we take a look at Brent Venables' track record so far in the SEC, it's not very strong, and it tells me this is a guy that has to win this year. They've got a tough schedule, sure, but they're going to have to try and find a way to win games this year and be more competitive than they've been in years past. Like last year, beating Alabama was fun, but that was a 6-win team doing that. And then you get belt whipped in the Armed Forces Bowl. Are you kidding me? Oklahoma doesn't have that type of standard. So I believe Brent Venables is under one of the hottest seats in the SEC. I think there's a more obvious answer, but I try to go a little bit of a different route here because I look at programs with higher standards. Arkansas doesn't have that high of a standard to me. Oklahoma has a high standard. When you think of Oklahoma football over the last 10 years, it's Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, college football playoff appearances, Rose Bowl appearances, big-time games. Arkansas doesn't do that. So I hold teams to a higher standard, and I hold Brent Venables, a guy that has had success on the major stages before, to a higher standard than what he's done at Oklahoma, and that's why he's my hot seat option today. Jeremy, when you look at the SEC, a couple of guys you could go to here. Yeah. Who's your guy that you think's on the hot seat?
For me, I'm really looking at Brian Kelly. Since he's come into LSU, they really haven't been able to recapture the same LSU magic that we've seen before with Ed Orgeron, with Joe Burrow a year, and then, of course, the years with Les Miles. It's kind of been lackluster, for better or for worse. I mean, you had a Heisman winner in Jaden Daniels, but I believe even still that year, I believe you even had a 7-5 record, if I'm not mistaken. Last year, you go 9-4. Defense is almost abysmal, and that's kind of something that's been LSU's calling card, like, for the past few years. Like, even if the offense was sputtering, like, they could always hang their hat on the defense. Now, I know they had a pretty big injury to the DN, whose name I'm drawing a blank on. But
Harold Perkins last year.
Yes,
got
Perkins.
hurt. Yeah.
Perkins, yes. But LSU just haven't had that signature win. And they just haven't had these dominant performances that we're used to seeing out of them. Yes, they may fall off for a year or two, but then they always push, like, for a national championship. Or now, like, to even push for the playoffs. So going 9-4 last year, defense, I believe, gave up somewhere close to about 30 points a game, like, not
Awful.
an LSU standard. Huh?
Awful.
Yeah, just I mean, just abysmal, like, by LSU standards. And sitting here just looking at, I mean, even offensive numbers, like, just aren't good. I mean, multiple turnovers in a bunch of games and stuff like that. So if he isn't able to show that there's growth, I believe with this year, I think you could see him potentially only having one more year, or this could just be the year that they go out. Another 9-4 season, you not making the playoffs, and you get drugged by Bama again. I mean, you're losing all your marquee games. I mean, you get beat by Florida where you only put up 16 points. I mean, against Bama, you only put up 13 and you give up 42. These aren't LSU, like, type games that we're used to seeing. So I go with Brian Kelly.
Yeah, about LSU, last year, this is a team that had a brutal midseason stretch. They lose to Texas A&M, a game they were winning. Marcel Reed comes in and is able to do whatever he wants to that LSU defense. Then they follow that act up with getting just pummeled by Alabama at home. I mean, LSU was, trying to score with like 14 seconds left, and Alabama was still sending a blitz. Like, they were grasping for straws, just trying to make that score look somewhat competitive. And then you go on the road against a Florida team that had struggled in the I guess in the first part of the season, and LSU loses that one as well. So you finished 9-4 last year, and I think that was taking a step backwards from where you were the year before with Jaden Daniels, and especially what they had with a Garrett Nussmeier that had plenty of experience as a backup behind Jaden Daniels. I expected bigger things. And I think that this year, the expectations are mountain high, where this is the best team that Brian Kelly has had. You've had him say that. You've had guys on that roster say that. There's an expectation not just to be a 10-win team. They're expecting championships this season.
Exactly. I mean, you're talking about LSU playing in something called the Texas Condor Bowl.
Like, the Texas Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, like what
that's not LSU standard. They're not putting up a trophy for that.
So it's
the difficult part about this year for LSU, 7 teams in the AP top 25 on their schedule. Guess what Brian Kelly's buyout is, if you had to think?
Let me see.
Just first, what would you think? Ballpark. It's in between 0 to 100 million.
His buyout would probably be about 12?
12? That's one guess.
I'd probably go like 9
million. Try 50 million.
That's crazy.
$50 million buyout.
How many years does he have left on his contract?
He's got he's got a big deal. So you're gonna have to try to not only figure out a way to get out of that, but
that's insane.
You got to try to find a way to get
$50 million?
Around $50 million buyout.
Gross.
So that he has to at least have a minimum of like 8 years left then.
He's got a lot. I mean, it was a big deal for him to come over there. But you got 7 AP top 25 teams, buyout north of $50 million. Talk about some high expectations.
Jesus.
Talk about you need some results this season.
Yes. Maybe LSU should flip over to Adidas and get that money and use that to buy him out.
To buy him out, yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah. My coach in the SEC on the hot seat is probably Billy Napier.
Okay.
And I'm saying this because this is in his 4-year tenure, going to his 5th year. This is by far the most talented team that he's had. I wouldn't say his seat is scolding. I would say it's more temperate. It's warming up for sure. A lot of expectations have been set for this Florida team. William has expectations for this Florida team. I have expectations for this Florida team. This is a team that on paper should be competing for a national championship. Now, yes, certain betting sites only have their over-under like 7.5, but that's because they're young. But the talent that they have on this squad, Billy Napier should be able to make this a 10-win team. 9 wins minimum. In his 4-year career, or he's completed 3 seasons. This would be his 4th, 6-7, 5-7, 8-5. You go 6-7 with Anthony Richardson, like that's a little bit of a head scratcher, right? That's a ultra talented quarterback that you had, number 4th overall draft pick. And defense wasn't great. They had a weird run game. Offensive line wasn't consistent enough that year. But you have been blessed with having a lot of talent that other coaches could do remarkable things with. This is a season that if you don't see Florida in the college football playoffs, even if they only win, 7 or 8 games, that's still a fairly good season, but you're not progressing.
7 to 8 wins is not for Florida standards.
Right, for Florida standards.
Not a good season.
And you're not progressing from your 8-5 mark last year. And this was a team, too, that started off really slowly, and they got better. Like, this is a team that went, 5-1 or 6-1 in their final 7? Or
6-1 with DJ Lagway as a starter.
That's what I meant. 6-1 with Lagway as a starter. I guess you don't count that Tennessee game because he technically didn't start that game.
Yeah, and they also got upended by Texas, but they started a 3rd stringer in that game.
This team, in my opinion, has the most to prove in the SEC this season. Billy Napier has the most to prove out of any head coach in the SEC because of the talent that he has. I wonder what Kalen DeBoer would be able to do with this talent, right? And you have the talent at Alabama, but there are so many tremendous athletes and playmakers, especially on this offense. And I'm not even talking about their defense with, Sapp and Aaron Childs, shout out, went to my high school. Like, they have an abundance of talent. And if this isn't a 9-win team at minimum, 2026 is going to be like that make or break season for Billy, because you'll have one more year Lagway too.
Yeah, well, I believe Lagway will be his leash after Lagway's done. If they don't have a college football playoff appearance, he'll probably be on the way out.
I could have phrased it like that, and it would have made a lot more sense. That's what I was getting at. Essentially.
A tough schedule for Florida. They're also another one of those teams that have 7 AP top 25 teams on their schedule, but they're going to have to find a way to at least get around that 9-win mark, be competitive, and hopefully have an opportunity to make the college football playoff. We'll switch over now to the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, not too far away. And this is an ACC that last year was significantly down from years prior. Florida State was hard to watch. Comedy Central started picking up those games. Miami and Mario Cristobal continue to recruit really well and bring in really talented players, but don't have an ACC championship experience to back that up. Clemson was a little bit down last year, but they were still good, able to make the college football playoff. But other than that, the storylines for the ACC have more so been expansion over the last couple of years, and that's a bad thing. But my hot seat coach for this year is going to be Brent Pry from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, I think, is a really underrated program in the South and in the ACC because they've got a really rocking environment. And when VT is good, I think it's good for college football because that's a really fun environment to be a part of. Obviously we know that, their pregame antics are some of the most unique in college football. But when you're 16-21 in your last 3 seasons under Brent Pry, those stands start getting a little bit more spacious, we'll say. And they're now 1-12 in games decided by 7 points or less during that 3-year stretch as well. 0-5 in 1-score games. It really hurt them last year too. So Brent Pry has got a tough job because, VT is struggling as of late, and he's got to go up against a really competitive South in terms of recruiting. But last year, heading into the season, they were a fringe top 25 team because of all the guys they returned. And last year was still a disaster. So something has got to change this year. And I think that is getting on the right side of the win column, having, an 8-win season in an ACC that is tremendously down. I don't think we'll be any much better than last year. I think if Florida State is better, that would, I guess, pull up the weight a little bit, but it's an open conference. And I think Virginia Tech has got to hold their program to a higher standard of when we're a good team, we put butts in seats, we gain a little bit of recognition in the conference and also in the South. So I think 7-8 wins will be enough to keep them out of the hot seat. But if you're 6-6, if you're under 500, see ya, Brent Pry. That's my ACC hot seat prediction. Jeremy, do you look at the ACC and have anyone that kind of catches your eye?
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, you hit on it, but I'm gonna take the low hanging fruit. I mean, it has to be Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
And for me, it's kind of reasons, I guess, like on the field, but still off the field. The year that you had where they go undefeated, but then you lose Jordan Travis, and then they kind of get bumped out of making the playoffs. I think that was such a huge letdown for that program. And like, it's kind of just like a gut punch to where like, the wind just gets knocked out of you. And it's just like, how do you recover from that? And you come back the next year, you Benoist unto me, you get DJU. I don't know why. And then you turn around and you have a 2-10 season. I mean, like you said, games broadcasted on Nickelodeon and Comedy Central. Like, I mean, it just went from bad to worse. And I mean, you're looking at passing performances by him. I mean, barely scraping 200, 193, 177. I guess he gets benched or hurt. You bring in Glenn, who throws for 110. I'm not even going to attempt a quarterback that starts with a K, but passing performances of 61, 140. I mean, just so much lackluster, like, last year, and definitely not the FSU standard. So is that all his fault? No, but it's just seemed like, will he be able to recapture the spirit, like, for this team? And can he get things back rolling? And something that happened to them the year before is just that something like that is kind of hard to recover from. It may take a new voice, like, a new leadership team to get in there and kind of get things back rolling. So that's my pick. And I mean, it sucks for him because I do believe he is a good coach. He always knows how to get his team put in good position. But I just think that if this ends up being another bad year for them, that you could end up seeing them wanting to part ways, and you just got to just scrape it and then just start fresh. Starting 2026.
Yeah, you'll have to kind of ask yourself how much of it was just the talent we had on that one team versus the talent we're having year over year. Last year, a disaster for Florida State. Went really hard in the portal, got some big names, didn't have a whole lot of game though.
Yeah, big name, little performance.
Exactly. Tyler, you look at the ACC. Who do you have your eye on?
It was Florida State.
My bad.
Okay.
I said that's the low hanging fruit.
Well, you can still kind of echo that, and we can move to a different conference.
I'm still going to give my thought, but there is another coach that I think is like one season away from being gone. But I'll just hash over Florida State real quick. This is a team that is so prestigious with their football program. You bring in Norvell in 2020 or 2019, I believe, and he brings you from his first year here, COVID year. They went 3-6 because there were only 9 games played. It was a reduced schedule. The year after that, 5 wins. 2022, 10 wins. 2023, 13 wins. So it's like, this is a guy that has like been trending up ever since he's gotten here. And he's taken this program back to like, not greatness, but to like regularity, to like what they were in the early 2010s, what they were in the 90s. And that's what they wanted. That's what this Florida State athletic program saw in Norvell. But it's like now, like I understand you lost so many starters, but to only win 2 games, man, like I know DJ was bad, but he wasn't that bad.
Oh, he was bad.
I know he was bad. I said he was bad. You think he was that bad?
He was that bad.
There was some rough.
Honestly,
rough games.
if I had to rank,
if I
had to rank the worst starters in Power 4 football, he'd probably be number 1. He was horrible.
Okay, fair. I mean, Yeah, I don't really have a rebuttal. He was a 5-star. He had talent, but he just never figured it out in the college level.
He was good at Oregon State. I'll give him credit. He was good at Oregon State.
Which is why he
but
he
gosh
got the Florida
almighty,
State transfer.
that first game against Georgia Tech on national
Awful.
television.
How many picks did he have? Like 4?
It wasn't even that. He just would throw it out of bounds, throw it, 30, 5 yards short. I mean, when you're hitting those routes too, timing and accuracy is very important. Like he'd throw a post and it'd be in the dirt 10 yards away from the guy or 20 miles over his head.
Yeah, it was a bad situation for him to be in. However, with Florida State, I mean, this is a better roster that you have now than what it was last year. Castellanos is okay. Like
if Castellanos has a stool.
What do you mean by that? A stool? Like just because he's short?
He's 5'10", man.
Yeah. Yeah, Bryce Young was short. He's pretty good. I mean, they got Squirrel White. Like, this is a team that really only has 3, like on their depth chart here. On the offensive side, they only have 3 starters that were on this team last year. They filled a majority of this team through the portal. Shout out Squirrel White. And their defense, too. I mean, there's another 5 guys that are transfers that are plugged in right now as first team on your depth chart defensively. So it's like, this is a much different team. And I'm not expecting Florida State to go out and win you 9-10 games, but like, you can't be a below 500 team again because you're losing the locker room. You're losing the faith of the fans. And that's when it gets bad. Like when the fans can't even will themselves to come to a game. Like, I've been to Florida State games. My older brother went there. When they're fun, dude, it's awesome. But, like, when they're bad, there's a very, very evident disconnect with the university and with this program. So, Mike Norvell, he's got to give these fans a reason to be convinced again. Like, even if it's a false sense of hope where, you're playing a Clemson or a better team in the ACC, and you're in a position to win the game, but you miss a game-winning field goal or 4th and 2 on the 2-yard line, and you don't get it. But like those are all still steps in the right direction from where they were last year. So I think Norvell has got to find that connect again, and if he does, I think his job could be safe. Having an above 500 season, I think his job could be safer. However, the risk of your team not being as talented as it was in 2022 and 2023. If you're a good coach, you'd find a way to get these guys to a 6-6 record. And I understand the talent is much different than your prior years, but if you're a good head coach in a weaker conference than what it's been in the past, you find a way to get this team to an above 500 football team again. And then I think his job is safe for 1 or 2 more years.
Yeah. Well, Florida State got a lot of expectations this year, at least to improve on what was a disaster last season for them. Wrapping up, only got a couple of minutes left in this segment, so we'll just pick out of the Big 12 and the Big 10, which coach is on the biggest hot seat. I'm going to go with Mike Gundy here out of Oklahoma State.
Oh, you stole mine.
Well, look, Mike Gundy, to me, I was very high on Oklahoma State last year. I had them top 10. I loved Ollie Gordon. I was a big backer in their 7th-year starting quarterback, and I thought defensively they had some really nice pieces. I got scared when they played Arkansas that close, and I quickly learned that this team was not good at all. They were 3-9 last year overall and 0-9 in Big 12 play. They were atrocious. And Mike Gundy is the winningest coach in Oklahoma State history, but he's had a couple of bad interviews over the last couple of years, including last season, saying that, he drives drunk all the time and doesn't see why Ollie Gordon driving drunk was a problem. Like, you can't say that as a coach. And this team kind of embodies that interview. It's kind of a wild card. And if you're a wild card in Stillwater, that probably is not going to work out long term. And I believe his seat is still hot right now, as the Cowboys have a tough schedule. You go on the road to face Oregon. That's not going to be an easy one. And then you've got Baylor and Stillwater. That could be a big-time resume boost for him. But, I mean, you've got to find a way to win games in the Big 12, be competitive in the Big 12, and last season was everything but that. Mike Gundy, I do like as a coach, the winningest coach in program history, but it kind of feels like the wheels are starting to rattle off the tracks. Real quick, guys, any coaches in the Big 12 or Big 10 that you look at? Got a couple seconds left before we head to the break.
I got Lincoln Riley out of USC. I mean, this is a guy that, in his first year with Caleb Williams, or not with Caleb Williams. It wasn't with Caleb Williams, but
his first year was Caleb Williams.
Yeah, 2022,
They did nothing.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you had the best quarterback in college football, one of them at least at that time, and you failed to win anything. The year after that, you go from 11 wins to 8 wins. Then you move to the Big 10, 7 wins, you lose Miller Moss. Now you bring in Jordan Mayava. I mean, a lot of questions. I said that this USC team can be underrated. I really like their receiving core. I like some of the transfer additions that they've brought in. But Lincoln Riley, with his resume, with like his championship pedigree, and I quote, like, you're at USC. This is a athletic program, a football team too, that is prestigious. Mm-hmm. They're historical, and for you to come in and just every year decline, that's a really bad look. You gotta be better than a 7-6 team next year. I mean, I think they were 6-6, but they won their bowl game. So you got to be above 500. You got to start climbing in the right direction, because if not, you're going to see, more of these West Coast athletes go to Oregon, go to Washington, go to UCLA, even go to Arizona State now, with Arizona State emerging. Big year for Lincoln Riley and the Trojans.
So you said they got to go 6-6 this year?
No, my point was that every year that Lincoln Riley has been there, like, at first they were good, but every year they have declined. Okay. You got to be better than what you were last year. And it can be marginal. It can be by like a game or two, or even it could be you're playing in closer games against better teams, but you're still losing. But you just have to see something that gives you hope that, this can be a team in a year or two that can once again be a 9-10 win team competing.
Yeah, strong recruiting class for them this past season, and this upcoming class is strong as well. But results have got to start happening for USC, as they have not been present over the last couple of years despite a lot of talent. All right, on the other side, we'll switch over to the NFL. Shedeur Sanders has an injury at a very bad time. We'll talk about how that affects his climb up the depth charts in Cleveland when we return right here on Overtime, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week, with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Got you, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Citizens National Bank. There are always memories to be made with family and friends, and we want you to share your memories with us. Share your best photos depicting your memorable experiences throughout the year, and your photo could be chosen to be in our 2019 Memories Calendar. Simply upload your photo to CMB's Facebook page's photo contest application or deliver it to any branch. Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good. Visit cmbtn.com for official contest rules.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
This, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM or 1340 AM on the local dial here in K-Town, or on the X/YouTube live stream. How you're listening or watching, we do appreciate your time. Now time to switch over to the NFL, where we'll talk about perfect timing and Shedeur Sanders and how he might be having some bad timing with his recent injury. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders sustained an oblique injury early in a joint practice with the Philadelphia Eagles on Wednesday and was held out of the rest of the session, according to the team. The Browns said Sanders is day-to-day and will not practice on Thursday, and he is unlikely to play in the preseason game Saturday against the Eagles. Now, Sanders' injury comes after the rookie's impressive preseason debut against the Carolina Panthers on Friday and adds to the list of quarterback issues and injuries in Cleveland. Now, if Sanders doesn't play Saturday in Philadelphia, the Browns will either play Tyler Huntley, the former... No. Yeah! We're not cheering for Tyler Huntley, who was a former Pro Bowler.
For the Ravens.
They might play him the entire game, or you may see starting rookie third-rounder Dylan Gabriel play as well, but he missed the preseason opener due to a hamstring injury, and he's been limited all week, but he should be a full go by Saturday, as he was a full go today. But the news of Shedeur Sanders' injury, I think, is significant, and the reason why I brought it to the table today is because this is bad timing. You're coming off a big-time performance on Friday. You're the talk of the town. No one gives a crap about preseason football, really. But Shedeur Sanders and his performance on Friday was like someone just, won the Super Bowl. Everyone's talking about it. There's Nike ads for it. It's the most talked about preseason performance in a long time because he is that polarizing and he does bring you to the table to watch these games. But Shedeur Sanders is still in a quarterback competition. Right now on the depth chart heading into this week, he is still the fourth quarterback for the Browns. So the way he separates himself from these other quarterbacks is by being available and by showcasing what he can do. Last week, he was available. He showcased what he could do, and he did it really well. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, William, all he did was check the ball down a couple of times. There were some really good throws mixed in there. He had one in the back of the end zone that split about 3 defenders and was right on time. I get it. It's preseason, but folks, what do you expect him to do? Well, it's preseason, man. Of course he's going to play well. Yeah, it's preseason. He's supposed to go out there and do his job. He's supposed to play. Now, if he didn't play well, the whole narrative that you would have is, oh my gosh, look how bad he was in preseason. He'll never make it. So there's no way the guy can win if that's, the type of stance you're going to take here. He played well in the preseason game. He did his job. Now he's got an opportunity to do it again on Saturday against the Eagles. But now with this injury, he's not going to have that opportunity. Availability is really big in sports and in the NFL. If guys are hurt, if guys are down, that's your opportunity to fill that position and showcase what you can do. It's your opportunity. For the Browns, Deshaun Watson, Who the hell knows what he's up to? Joe Flacco, an older quarterback. There's not much of a future with him. You know that the Browns are going to kind of take a look at Gabriel and Sanders some point this season. You're now giving Dylan Gabriel an opportunity to have a follow-up performance. It's kind of like in a talent show. Shedeur Sanders went up there, had a really good opening act. Now Dylan Gabriel has the opportunity to show him up. But he's been injured, and they might not have forced him out there on Saturday if Shedeur Sanders was still available. Sanders could have got another act and an opportunity to showcase what he could do once again. And obviously the Eagles are a lot more talented team top to bottom than the Panthers are. And I'm not saying that just because he was good against the Panthers means he's going to be good against the Eagles. But availability is key. And when your whole quarterback room is banged up, you have to be available. And I think this is why this injury is really, really important. Because now you're not only taking another opportunity to weigh in your 3 preseason games to showcase what you can do, but you're now becoming one of the unavailables. One of the big positives on Friday was that you were available. You could play. You could showcase what you could do. Now you're one of the unavailables, and you join the other mishmash of quarterbacks in this room right now that can't play. So I think that's why it's significant. It's bad timing. I mean, he's not going to lose his job or lose an opportunity here, but I think he's losing opportunities to gain progress, even more progress than he already made on Friday. That's why I believe it is a big deal. Jeremy, when you look at this, as a coach and a guy that's, seeing position battles all the time, availability is big. How big of a deal is Shedeur Sanders not being able to play Saturday in your eyes?
No, it's big for real. I mean, because like you said, I mean, he was gaining momentum with the preseason game that he had. Looking at least to jump up to that QB2 spot, and solidify himself there. So in that retrospect, yeah, it's huge. I mean, you talking about somebody I was just sitting here re-looking over his highlights. You can definitely tell that he has the understanding. There was a lot of things that I was looking at, a few throws that were kind of off target and late getting there. A few throws that were thrown into some tight windows where the ball probably either should have been maybe thrown out of bounds, or you just try to run and pick up some yards on the play instead of putting the ball in harm's way. So of course there's still some things that he need to work on, but depending upon what Dylan Gabriel looks like, if he gets his chance this Saturday to play, it could definitely hurt him on getting that QB2 chance. And then depending upon how the Browns look, that would have easily propelled him into being the starting QB possibly late in the season. But for the immediate, I think it's just another opportunity to get out there, get some more reps, get a little bit more feel for the game and things like that. Because as I'm sitting here looking at it, you can tell that they're actually trying to play a lot to his strengths at what he did at Colorado. I'm seeing a lot of 4 and 5 receiver sets, a bunch of empty backfield formations with him, something that he did a lot of in Colorado, giving him an opportunity, giving the defense an opportunity to be spread out, so giving him an opportunity to go through multiple reads. And so he did well with that, really, for the most part. A lot of people were high on the touchdown at the back of the end zone, which was a good throw, being able to squeeze the ball in between a couple of defenders. But like I said, there's a few digs and a couple slants that were over the middle. He hit one big coming out of his own end zone that I think that was probably about like a 20 to 30-yard pickup. That was a good throw. But there was a few other throws, like I said before, that were kind of questionable, and you can tell that he's going to have to adjust to the speed at this level. There is no more running around for 60 yards behind the line of scrimmage and think that you're just going to make a play.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, these boys are fast.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of getting more reps, getting that growth, and fighting for that QB2 spot, I think this is a slight setback for real.
Yeah, Tyler, what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting because we were out here last week or on Monday. Don't remember, losing my days now. And because we're in the back end of summer, but we were talking about how Shedeur looks like a guy that if he can, or I was talking about it, if he could clean up a few things, like he's very accurate, extremely accurate. He can put the ball on the money. His timing is a little bit off. His footwork is a little bit off. And he's still playing at a college football speed. He's not playing like he's in the NFL. He was relying a lot on his improvising, kind of like a Deshaun Watson, just being more athletic and quicker than you. Shedeur, sorry, dude, you're not that fast, man. Like, you're an athlete. Yeah, you are. Runs in your family's DNA, but you're not Lamar. You're not Allen. You're not a prime Deshaun Watson. Those guys excel at broken plays and turning them into long gains. You're not going to be able to do that here. Shedeur, he can be a really good quarterback if he touches up a few things. But with this injury, it definitely does set him back a little bit. An oblique injury is no joke either, especially for a quarterback, because you have so much, torque and so much torque and your follow through. Like it's similar to baseball. A lot of starting pitchers. There's a pitcher on the Orioles that is fantastic when he's healthy, but he consistently gets lat strains and oblique injuries because you're rotating your body so hard that it ends up damaging you and it ends up hurting you. So if this is a thing that lingers with Shedeur, which it very, very well could, oblique injury and lat injuries linger. Like, you don't get surgery on them. You just have to rest it, ice it, do the physical therapy to strengthen it back up. They're all like, it's usually all strains. But with Shedeur, it's like you're still young. You have to work for this now. Like, this is your first set. Like, your first setback was falling to the 5th round. And you believe that you were better than a 5th round talent. And I believe that. I think everyone in this room believes that. But now you finally had your high moment. Yeah, see, I can do this. I can be efficient. This is what I was doing at Colorado. It can translate. But now he has another setback to where he's injured. And on top of that, there are 4 other guys on this Browns roster that are hungry and they want to start. Shedeur's going to find a way to, differentiate himself. He's got to get in that gym 30 minutes before Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett do. You got to leave 30 minutes after Joe Flacco and Tyler Huntley do. You got to find ways to separate yourself, especially now because you're sidelined. We're probably not going to see Shedeur for the rest of the preseason, like I said, because this is a thing that lingers. It can, be up to 2 to 3 months, or it can be a 2 to 4 week injury. So Shedeur right now, he's going to take care of his body. He's got to read the playbook, study the living crap out of this playbook, because that's how you're going to separate yourself. Be the smartest quarterback in that quarterback room. I am rooting for Shedeur. There were parts of me that didn't want to because he's obviously on the Browns. And sometimes he can get a little bit ahead of himself. But this is a guy that I think is really talented. And I love a good old feel-good story, prove everyone wrong. That's what my quarterback did. I'd like to see Shedeur also do that. So rest up. And then before you know it, he'll be starting week 6.
Yeah. Big opportunity for Shedeur Sanders, who's taking a little bit of a hit, but hopefully he's able to recover and get back to practice next week as the Browns will gear up for their 3rd and final preseason game next weekend as we get closer and closer to the NFL season beginning. When we come back on the other side, it's our final thoughts. Stay right here. It's Overtime, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Knoxville. Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort, Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. In football and life, you need a solid defense to protect what matters most. That's where Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee comes in. Score peace of mind with Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. They're your line of defense. FBITN.com.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance of the Tennessee Vols. I'm here to be that line of defense for all your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871 and go Vols.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Town, we appreciate you hanging out with us over the last 2 hours. My final thoughts today are this. So it was raining today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Headed to, yeah, I know. It was bad in the morning. And so at my place, I've started opening the blinds before I go to bed because the sunlight wakes me up.
Same.
Today was tough because it was raining. It was a lot darker. It's kind of like a cave, my place. But anyway, driving to work today took a little bit longer than usual because for some reason the rain makes Knoxville drivers.
Whoa. See, I got a theory on that, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
Don't you too quick with that Knoxville word, but go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay. I'm just gonna because look, I've lived in Memphis too. In Memphis, it doesn't matter what there could be a tornado and guys are still going 100 miles down the air. In Knoxville, I've noticed the rain makes people drive at a very, very slow pace.
Snail pace.
Haven't we had this discourse already?
Well, Max brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and that's why I wanted to bring it up today because I hadn't really noticed it until he said something about it last week. And I was driving today, and I looked at kind of just like every time I get in the car, I just try to see how long it's going to take me to get there. And it was like 27 minutes. Now, it usually takes me 18. So I was like, what's the holdup? And I was like, the rain. The rain makes people drive slower. And I haven't experienced it like that until I really thought about it. But it's a Knoxville thing, in my opinion. I've been in a lot of different cities, and it's been raining, and it hasn't been as bad as this.
It was pouring. Hold on. Quick thing, 30 seconds. It was pouring when I left to go to work earlier today, like pouring. My hair, I could slick it back. That's how wet I got in my 15 seconds. You didn't have to make that weird. You didn't have to make that weird, but you chose to. That was good, though.
That was a pause. No, that was a pause.
I got damp.
Okay, all right, just continue. No,
my hair, like, I was soaked. And I was like, okay, I have had multiple instances where I've been driving back from here. It started raining. I'm on the highway. And I'm making like a very, very small, I'm not turning right. It's just the way the highway is. You have a little curve. And I'm slowly turning my wheel. And I like almost hydroplaned like 3 times in one day. Just because the smallest movement. These roads are slick. No reason to go 75 mile per hour in a torrential downpour.
So you're pushing back on my statement saying that people should, like, I get it. If it's raining and it's bad and you can't see, slow down a little bit. But I think it's overkill when it's sprinkling and people are driving like, you know, we're stopping by to watch the president drive by
I agree.
or something.
But there was like a 1 hour time period today where it was pouring rain, and that's when you have to drive slower.
Jeremy, you said you've thought about this before. Lay it out.
Yes, and see, I know I'm the more senior statesman here on this panel. But listen, there's a lot of non-865 residents that live now here in Knox. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm really blaming a lot of these non-865ers for this now slow moving traffic, because I can remember that even when it used to rain, my previous job working at a moving company, I could still leave my house, even rain, sleet, or snow. I can still get there in 10, 12 minutes. But by God, with the rain, now I was getting there in 20, 25 minutes. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, I know it's not my Knoxvillians that forgot how to drive. It's all these people from West. All these people from West. It has to be the reason, because I had a good 5-6 years of driving here to where, hey, it didn't matter. Traffic was still moving, like, whatever it was.
So you're blaming like one side of Knoxville?
No, I'm not blaming one side of Knox. Now, I will say this. Now, my time while I was at MTSU, Middle Tennessee can't drive. Okay, Middle Tennesseans cannot drive. Murfreesboro to Nashville, Clarksville, Antioch, all of them, they can't drive.
I will say, as you start going down the state, once you get to Memphis, no one can drive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I got a bunch of friends that was at MTSU. You put them behind the wheel. Listen, I don't like wearing seat belts, but I wore my seat belt with them.
And then another one.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. So it ain't. Listen, if you was born in the 865, it's not your fault. I'm gonna just say that. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've been like, man,
it's the visitors.
Crazy. Yes, the visitors here.
I hadn't really thought about it, because Max brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to kind of understand where he was coming from. And I just kind of answered it like, kind of PC, like, some people drive slower, but it really didn't clock in until today.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's sprinkling. What are we doing here?
Man, listen, there's been so many days I've come down here. I have to hit so many back roads. I've had to relearn my city trying to get here just because I will not get on the interstate coming here. Like, yeah.
Well, look, Knoxville, if you're out there, drive safely. But if it's raining, we don't have to act like there's a tsunami coming through or a tornado, or we're stopping by to watch, the president drive by.
If there's a tornado, I'm going faster. Or a tsunami, faster in the opposite direction.
I've driven in a tornado before. I've driven in a tornado and just a downpour. I just kept on going. Now, I maybe slowed down a little bit because the other cars were, and it was a little bit darker at night. But when people stop and stare, that's we don't have enough. There might be another final thoughts for another day. What just blows my head off is when you're on the highway and let's say like someone got pulled over on the side, and that's all it is, a speeding ticket, and everyone slows down. They're trying to see what's going on. Everyone gets curious, and then you've got to hold up in traffic because people are slowing down and trying to see what happens. Or if there's a wreck on the other side, right? Like highway this way, highway that way, a wreck on that side, and everyone's curious
about what's going on.
Start slowing down. We're not what's that? It's not Clue. We don't have to figure out what's going on over there. Sherlock Holmes on the highway. We don't need that. Keep on driving. And it drives me insane when we get up to the road point where all the traffic, frees up. And it's the wreck on the other side of the interstate that we're waiting on. That's something that it's relatable for everyone.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. I mean, my goodness, it's annoying how many mornings I'm late to work just because people don't know or are unwilling to hit the gas. It's so annoying.
We got here on the Restream bot, Crucify MTG says it's because it's the law to get over in the lane, but it's still annoying. That is true, but it is still annoying. And it slows traffic down. I don't like it. All right, that's going to wrap it up for a Wednesday edition of Overtime. We appreciate you listening along with us. We'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 6 to 8. Make sure to check out Talk Sports in the mornings from 7 to 10 and keep it locked in right here on Fan Run Radio. We appreciate you hanging out with us. For Tyler Barberis, Jeremy Ensley, I'm William Pattison. We'll see you next time.
Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. And as always, you can hear the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. This is the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. Do not be alarmed.
Everybody who has an opinion about Dak Prescott says the same thing. If Dak Prescott was playing outside of Dallas, it wouldn't be this. It would be X, Y, and Z. We wouldn't be talking about Dak Prescott as much. It wouldn't be. If Dak Prescott played outside of Dallas, I'll tell you right now, he's Jordan Love in Green Bay. They're the same kind of quarterback. They give you the same kind of numbers, same kind of skill set, same early part of their career. That would be how we talked about Dak Prescott. That would be his impact on the NFL if Dak wasn't the Cowboys quarterback. He would be Jordan Love, a guy that got attention because he was really good. We talk about him, but doesn't play for the Cowboys. So really, all right, your team has to be really good to be a top shelf conversation in the NFL, because that's kind of how it goes.
You're listening to Jason Smith with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on